Dean, hit the like button when you get in here. Yes, Dean, thank you so much for saying that. If you're tuning in now, or if you end up tuning in after the live, I thank you so much for tuning into the Midday Market Report. It's Thursday, October 12th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I greatly appreciate everybody who's taken the time to watch these Midday Market Reports. Been getting on average roughly 600 views, sometimes less, sometimes more. But that just works out to be about the average. I like to go through and do a rundown of what's going on. After I go through some of the charts, I'll find a strategic point to get into a little bit from the news side of town with the markets, as markets are mixed at midday as consumer prices rise more than expected. So we'll get into the consumer prices that was released today. I saved it for the Midday Market Report, so that'll be very important. We'll go through the chart so we can kind of get on the same page. Oh, Johnson, welcome in. Mitchell, good afternoon. Forex, good afternoon. Hey, I'm so glad you love these. I really appreciate that. Jorge, welcome in. Hello, my friend. True, good afternoon, my brother. I really appreciate you tuning in as always. I love seeing the group that's in here for the Midday Market Reports that are starting to tune in. Joshua, welcome in. Yes, T-Speaker indeed. Maybe that's how I should have spelled it so they could say it, you know, when I graduated properly. They used to call me Spica. Flex RP, good afternoon. So let's get into this. Dow Jones is down 348 points or 1.03%. We've got a pretty good wrap on this. To me, and maybe I don't know about anybody watching this, what's going on, Louisville? Welcome in. HR, welcome in. And good job sneaking in here as well. Appreciate everybody tuning in already. I think we're in a broadening wedge in the Dow Jones. And our major pivot point right now is this 33,986. So you can just say 33,900. We're now starting. This is a long leg doji. This should confirm a pattern reversal. So tomorrow could be a very dicey end to the week. Today's only Thursday. It looks like the Dow is going to end up bearish to end the week. That long leg doji signifies a pattern reversal. Or that, not a pattern reversal, but it signifies that whichever direction you were going in, you've run out of steam. And more than likely, it is based on the next candle. But if the next daily candle breaks this low around 33,450, you're likely going down to that 32,580 just to try to gather more support and see what happens. It's very possible. As you've seen here, you had a long leg doji as well. A little more stretched out right here. And you can see it. It's more bullish. It's squeezed out. But it was a downward pattern. We tried to have a reversal here. It didn't play out. So it continued down. But this was telling us we were getting weaker. So even now, maybe tomorrow we rally up a little bit more. But this signifies that we're starting to burn out now in the Dow. It's starting to burn out. So expect a reversal here so far. In some short fashion here. Crypto Solo Scrooge, welcome in. I call him Crypto Solo Scrooge because he covers solo a lot. He's here on YouTube. Make sure you follow him. He's getting ever closer to that 1,000 subscriber. That's a big milestone for streamers. Not very many reach it there. That's when your streams become incentivized because, you know, you get the advertising revenue at least. Because YouTube likes to advertise. And then, you know, when your partner, you know, you get more of a, through the algorithm, just a tad bit easier. True says you're doing the best work. I watch quite a few people, but I make my own moves. You're one of the very few I value insight from. True, I greatly appreciate that. I greatly appreciate that. Much like you responded to me in that fashion, I read a lot of people's comments, and some, you know, you get what you get, but with yours, I highly value what you say. So that means a lot to me. I greatly appreciate that. I'll read the rest of the comments as I can see them. So that's where we're at with the Dow. I really think that's what's going on. Sashir, welcome in. Killamanati, welcome. Productions, Dogecoin getting rocked. How low can it go? It's in that same cycle. Maybe I'll take a quick look at that at the end of this bear market or the midday market report if we can get through it. Just got the kids we got to pick up in about 25 minutes from school. We got to get going. Well, Julie does, so I got to go watch my son. And I'm outside. He's inside. Jose, what's going on? I greatly appreciate you tuning in day after day after day. Watch, recycle, repeat. For anybody who doesn't know, I used to say, and I do say from time to time, but he keeps it in there. Watch the content, recycle it to friends and family, and repeat by coming back and watching the next update or live. So that's where we're at with the Dow. If we go to the DXY, we're having a bit of a reversal today, but I mean, is it really much of a surprise? What are we going to do here? Are we going to get a firm rejection, or are we going to continue up? Right now, we're trying to fight. That's a pretty bullish candle here in the 4 hourly. We came down to the overextended 200 day in the 4 hourly. Actually, we didn't even quite make it there. We bounced just before it, but I mean, it's close. 105 spot 40. We came down to about 105.50. You're splitting hairs now, but now we're going to see. Is this a rejection or is this something more? With what's going on with war, like I said, that's a variable that changes. That's a big falling channel. Would I be surprised if this continues in the overall rising channel? No. There could be a fake out here. This is a big recovery, but just pay attention. You would have to get up and hold. And I'll just show you. Just like on the way down, you had the overextension. On the way up, you should have to break this 106.60 area. Then you can start talking about, can we make some momentum? Otherwise, these can be fake outs, so let's just pay attention here. But as of right now, did we break down? Did we die out? No, not yet. Remember what we said here? This is what always makes me happy in this pattern. For anybody who's been watching with the DXY, way back here, I put 2 smiley faces and said, what did I say? Last hope, because it looked like inverted left arms were formed, and it could have made a bottoming pattern. I thought there was going to be an inverted arm, but it didn't work out that way because it kind of made the weird pattern. But we had the volatile spike. This was a pattern that I seen hope in because it looked like we were bottoming, so it's kind of like a rounding. It did come down a little bit farther, but it did give us a little hope. But you see what they do here? Even when you read the patterns properly, they send you down for the move. You know why they sent us down here? That's the liquidity for the move up. So that would flush anybody who was out of the US dollar, and they would use that as sell liquidity, right? So everybody's dumping it, and then what happens? A big influx of cash comes in, making it worth it for the buyers who came in, likely our own government, to make maximum profit. Retail said nope. Anybody from other countries said nope on that dive and said we're below major pivot levels and now we should come down. And I said be careful because I still felt like we were going to come out. It's not ready yet. It'll be more ready if we hit 109. I suppose if we get a rejection here as well, that could swing us down very far. But again, I was looking at 104.678 because that's the first breakout point from back in here. Let me blow the arrow out from back in here. We came down. You could say we've bounced off the 105.85, which is relevant. That's the cup and handle. So are we putting a bullish handle in here? We'll see. We'll see. But just watch every day. We go through all of these scenarios each and every day as it's playing out, just so we can understand how we got to where we're at. The 10-year, remember, does anybody remember what I said yesterday? I don't even know if there's anybody here. 37 people, thank you so much. 22 likes. Make sure to hit that like button. It will greatly help push this midday market report. The more likes, the better we do in the algorithm, and the more people that'll see this. It's that simple. YouTube has a weird system. But for anybody who doesn't know, yesterday in the midday market report, we talked about how the 10-year, it can't just go down. There's only so far it can go. Sure, it could come down and retest some of these levels, which it almost did. If you go into the higher time frames, it didn't quite come down, but it did test the 20-day. But we talked about nobody's buying this stuff, so they've got to come up. I think there's a better than not chance that it comes up to 5.077% before any real correction. And sure, could it have come down here to correct? That's an overextended correction that we talked about. But where it's at now, I would more be under the impression that instead of going down there because it came to the top side, you don't even need that correction. Your correction might just be doing something like this and then come into here. So you don't even need that. That's just if you want to put a bullish handle on the cup. So these are rounding. These are bullish formations, and it could come way higher than that in the 30. The 30 could come way higher than that. That's the problem here. We could come way high. If we break past 5.07, well, you would have to say like 5.25. It's just, I don't know if we can get there on the first shot. But if you break past that area, you got some You've only got some small resistances above here that you can even look back in the pattern. 5.495 at the very top. And then what? Are they just going to let it exponentially go up like this in 5.9 over 30? Do you know what that means? If you think that's bad, if you're getting that for a government bond, what do you think the 30-year fixed rate's going to be on a home loan? Like, holy, that just tells you that we're in a recession if that happens. If they're going to, and not just that, something bad's about to happen, real bad. In 2024, D, if you guys hear screaming, it's my boss. Told him I had to listen to something right. I do appreciate that dedication as well, True. Thank you, D. So watch that, but in 2024, it's going to be bad. The BRICS can't, anybody who signed into the BRICS agreements, they still have to buy their petro backed by US dollar. In their agreement, they have to wait until January of 24. That's, I don't know why they did it. Maybe it's to ease into it. Maybe it's just to kick us in the you-know-what at the same time. I would believe more that the reason they did that is so that there's a big influx of cash pouring back into the USA from foreign leaders, or foreign countries. And then a massive surge in precious metals as the new form of payment to buy your petro. They already said that they're going to accept gold. So basically what they would do, you could turn in your US dollars for gold, or instead of having to buy US dollars, they've told these countries they can turn in their native currencies at an exchange rate for gold, and they will convert it. The Saudis did. That was the importance of the Saudis backing this all. Infamous, you're welcome. I appreciate you being in here. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. So that's my big fear. So moving on. Crude, $82.86 dollars per barrel. This is U.S. crude. We've come down to the 20 days so far. This isn't an exact representation of, oh, it has to come down here and hit 81 or $80, but this is just what I'm seeing with the rounding of the bottoms here. So, but there's an 85% chance to me we're going to come back up here at some point here in the near future up to 109 area at least. You look cute. I like your outfit. Oops. I appreciate that, Infamous. I really do. Even with your other account for some reason not working, you still come in with a new account and everything. That's dedication. I seen somebody else snuck in as well. So that's crude. And yeah, it's repetitive. I like to go through this Monday through Friday so we can stay on the same page. With the gold-silver ratio, we at first were rejected by the pivot point at 86,680. We can raise that. I don't know why I have it so low now that I look at it. It should be up here, which we still got rejected, but it was much too low. I looked at it yesterday after we got out of here. I'm like, that's too low. I like that 87.46. That's a proper interpretation to me. Whoops. Just because of where it's at in the pattern. So the gold-silver ratio, we're basically within that. We're still in an ascending formation. So, and with that overextension underneath is very important because these end up being wicks in the grand scheme, not in these. If you look at it from like yearly perspectives, you'll see little dives in here, but not in the smaller one. Like that's a weekly. If you go into the monthly, you can see the recovery happening, but I don't have it bigger than the monthly. I don't have the yearly out right now, but some know what I mean. But still, these end up just being like overextensions. You get the reversal. This is a good way to get people out if you're looking at a normal chart. Zach, welcome. Greetings. Hope you're doing well. Buying XRP at these prices is great. It is MC Prosperity. I'll finish reading that in a sec. Ultimately, I think the gold-silver ratio could be making a play back up to almost 100 to 1. We won't know until we break out past some of these crucial levels, though. The most critical one is to get past that, not just 87.46, but that 91.9 is going to be hard to get past. The gold is down $4.27 or $0.23% to $1,870 per ounce. We weren't fooled here. I don't think anybody was fooled because we knew we have this retest here. And now we'll see. The only way for this to invalidate this structure is to break out, and not the 3 hour, but to break all the way up and out of the 4 hourly. We got rejected at a perfect spot. You couldn't have drew this out any better. Now we're on the bottom side of the broken formation, and if this continues, we'll have a big breakdown. The one way you can hold this is continue riding the 20-day as support. So don't lose 1864 and start riding this as support. So other than that, this still has a technical target of 1792. And that could be speaking to the fact that the US dollar is about to have a parabolic spike if gold drops. So just let's pay attention here. B2 gold is in that same principle here. It came up. Did it not hit that pattern formation perfectly? I always say, if the patterns aren't right, why does it use the exact points on the pattern as that pivot point? Like, that's the structure. I say, I don't make predictions, and I think it makes people mad. It's just I use what I see in front of me as the formations because I understand how to form them and draw them, and I understand how to take the long, short, and mid-term. So I can do it from a micro and macro perspective to form an opinion. So right now with silver, B2 gold, you technically could try to reverse this if you could hold that $3 level now and start pushing through. I started another XRP bag for my brother's church, 477 average so far. That's excellent to hear, True. I commend you for that. It's not a bad spot to start from either. MC Prosperity Silver is good price as it absolutely is. That ratio is out of control too. I am pouring into it at these prices, but there'll be a bigger purchase here to come that I'll talk about. So I'm looking for a reversal here. We'll see though. I'm looking for a reversal. I've got $7,000 right now, as I've talked about, for B2 gold for when it starts to break into these levels. After my last dividend payment, I got rid of it just over $3. It's over where I got rid of it now, but that wasn't the point. I thought we were going to have a breakdown. Now we need this consolidation breakdown, and then we can start getting these 240 price, because that's the technical target on a breakdown. And I'm going to start putting a significant amount. It pays over almost a 6% dividend. I'm just waiting for that PE ratio to continue coming down south of 10. So that's where I'm at with that. I'll continue to keep you updated. And then silver, finally. Silver's doing what gold is. It's coming up. Is it going to come all the way up here for a retest? It could at 20, what is it, about 22, I don't know what that is exactly, 2270, 2250 area. But the technical breakdown, we haven't measured from in here just in case it comes back up here and retests where X marks the spot. So then it'd get you to about $18. This should say $18 on the nose. Close enough. So that's how we get these numbers. There's not a guaranteed, it's only 75% if it comes down here that it would continue on, and then 25% chance now that it came up here, you can even see it could develop a W reversal. So let's pay attention to that. So we don't know why it's a 25% chance that it can bounce out. Now we know why. Crypto Bob. Hi, Tom. All looking good and playing out as expected. Very exciting. Hold the line, everybody. Exactly. It feels good when everything plays out to our expectations. Crypto Solo Scrooge, you're so right about that. Great ratios. And now, very last but not least, for Killuminati, if you're in here. Are you still in here, Killuminati? Because I got to go pick up the kids. Make sure you hit that like button, as it will greatly help push these through the analytics. Or Julie's going to pick up the kids. I got to go watch our little one while she goes up to the school. And then if you appreciate this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this far and wide. If you'd like to become a member of Tom's Army to pay it forward and show that extra support, by all means do it if you please, if you can, or if you feel the need. If not, just hitting that like button really does help more than you could ever know. If you're watching this after, it really does help push me through the analytics. Like, I can't even explain how important it is. I don't have a marketing budget. I don't do paid promotions, advertisements, or sponsorships of any kind, because I want you to have a free viewing experience. I don't want you to have to pay for anything. I don't want you to have to sit through some BS advertising of some BS product. I just don't want to do it. I know there's a lot of money. It's very lucrative. Most people take advantage of it. I don't care. I don't want to do it. So this is that downtrending resistance for Dogecoin. And I want to just show Killuminati. So we've broke down on Doge, a very big breakdown through the daily time frame. And even if you just look at this, this is the most you needed to stay above that uptrend, and then this downtrending resistance. I only had it there to show the example. You need to be on top of that. Otherwise, you're going to have a significant breakdown with Doge. Now, how big of a breakdown, nobody knows. But it's definitely on the bearish side of town. And if this plays out properly, I can show you a technical move you might not want to watch. But, I mean, I have the technical targets either way, even if it makes me sick. So let's just say the rejection is right here. I mean, you're looking at a pretty nice drop down to that 4 cent. We could say, though, to be fair, it's riding this downtrending resistance, that it technically started the downturn there, and I wouldn't fight you on it. Then I'll show you why it even makes more sense here. If you overextend this old breakout, and I love doing this and most people won't do it, it helps you converge the pattern. So now to me, overextending these patterns is it not creating its own little pattern here. So now to me, if it does break down here, now you formed, oh, that's right. You tried to break out of a bear flag. It just didn't quite work out for you. But we've got it figured out all the way through. That's why I say the pattern might look different the next time you look at it if you haven't watched for a while. But I'm literally just overexpanding the pattern. So that's the problem here with Doge. If it gets rejected in this area, we already have the targeted move. We don't have to be afraid of it. You'd be dropping another about 20%. It's on par with the rest of the market. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Have a good afternoon. I'll catch you on a later update, and I appreciate everybody who takes the time to watch the